back, folks. This is Steve Sampson, Jim Jonas, and Pirate Mike Edwards with Veterans in Politics. Today we're going to have a special show. We're going to have Welty Silva, who is the mother that was tossed out of the whole courthouse, and her daughter was left with this mean judge that really did a number on her. I believe the daughter was either between the ages of 10 and 12. And we're gonna talk a little bit more. We're gonna talk about a little bit more about that. The judge, her name is Rena Hughes, and we're gonna discuss a little bit more about that. But you guys got any rants?
I don't know if I'd call it a rant. I call it positive. I know most Marines around the world this week were very excited when they heard talk that Trump.
I hear an echo in your mic there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it good?
Sound good.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you got headphones on. General James Dog.
That's
Mad
good.
Dog Mattis.
That's good. Now you see why I wear these headphones.
So Mad Dog Mattis is up for Secretary of Defense by Trump. We know they have to do a waiver from Congress.
Right.
He has to be separated from the military for 7 years. He'll be the highest ranking military person to be at Secretary of Defense since 1951. But he is well liked on both sides of the aisle. He's a great man. He actually sat down with Trump. Trump had his vision of waterboarding terrorists. He wanted to get back to doing that. And when he sat down with the general, he actually talked him out of it. He said, you give me a pack of cigarettes and a couple beers, I will get more info out of anyone than we can from waterboarding them or whatever we have to do. So he's a great man. I know, and I wore this shirt in honor of him today. Marines will know what it means. But no, it's a really great day because he's not a yes man. He's not, I have a feeling Trump's not aligning, he's not getting people there that are going to do what he says. He's going to actually get the best people for their jobs and let them do their job.
I wonder how he got the name Mad Dog, though.
Mad Dog, the warrior monk, they call him. He's never been married. He doesn't have a TV.
Never been married.
He reads Marcus Aurelius. He reads Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
He's.
I heard that he had his lieutenants go for Christmas break with their families, and then he took their shift. Is that?
Yep, he does. He stands watch. I talked to a Marine that was on a flight with him to D.C., a big plane, and when the generals were getting off, he walked by them and says, "Hey, can I get you guys anything?" And jokingly, lance corporals, privates, and corporals said, "Hey, yeah, maybe a burger or something." He came back with like 6 burgers, fries, and Cokes. Right. For the lower-ranking Marines. I mean, that just shows, he doesn't say, "Hey, go do this." He's like, "Hey, I'm going to go do this. Come follow me. We'll go kick ass together."
And you know what? It's about time we have somebody that had military to be Secretary of Defense.
They have all these joking things. Everybody around the world, ISIS, North Korea, everybody went, "Oh shit, yeah." So, but I mean, he doesn't play around. He knows his stuff. He's very smart. He's very. He's for the people. He won't ask anybody. And that's why he almost has like a cult following in the Marines, and people joke about it and stuff like that. But the guy is amazing, and I think he's going to do a great job. I think Trump's going to get some people in, not micromanage them. He's going to let them do what they're good at, and if they tell him he's wrong or something like that, I think he's going to listen. And so that's a great appointment, and I think he's going to do a really good job. It's all week, all my Marine brothers and sisters around the world, we've just been kind of, that's like an after party to a party. Yeah, we've just had a good time.
Yeah. Jim?
Like one of the things that I don't really have a rant necessarily, but I want to talk about some of the stuff you were talking about. During the whole campaign, all these so-called experts were always talking about, when Trump talks, he talks in generalities. He doesn't really have a vision. He doesn't have specifics. But one of the things that Trump has always pointed out is that what has made him a successful businessman is he understands talent. And he's going to go out and he's going to seek that talent. He doesn't understand the nuts and bolts of every single thing. So that's why I'm excited for that appointment too, because just like you said, he's not... he's going to seek out people that understand and listen to them.
Absolutely.
And that is the mark of a good leader.
I think they have to change the title though too, because I don't think he's going to be allowed to. Anyone's going to let him call him secretary. So we might have to change it to like badass motherfucker defense or something like that. But,
Yeah, because secretary sound like somebody with a skirt on.
Hey, as long as he knows what he's doing, that's my point. I think that Trump is on the right track there. You know, I'm a boss, and you know what? I love the fact that my team members and the people under me are actually smarter than I am. And I appreciate that.
They're proactive. They're proactive. He can't micromanage, and he doesn't claim to know everything. People are like, what about this one? You get economists to do the budget. You get. Yeah. I heard he's even talking about Sarah Palin for head of the VA. I mean, they need somebody in there to freaking stir shit up and kick some ass.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that really made me happy this week. So.
Good. Well, I got a PBS. We have a new sponsor, Real Water. They're going to be sponsoring on the email blast that goes out.
Outstanding.
And you guys know I put a challenge out to this Richard Carry-On guy.
I do.
Yeah. And Real MMA called him up, and first he goes, "Oh, I don't know nothing about it. I heard it was a joke." So I called Real MMA back, and I said, "Tell him that it's not a joke. That I really want to step in the ring and beat that ass, you know." And so they called him back, and he goes, "No, I don't want to fight Sanson." You would fight me, right, Mike?
Yeah, and we're friends. Nothing wrong with that.
So Richard Carry-On, if you're listening, I just want to let you know it's not a joke, and I'd like for you to step in the ring with me because you're a backstabbing motherfucking asshole, and I just want to beat that ass Marine Corps style. And I did say that some of the proceeds I was going to give to the Marine Writers and the Marine Corps League and all four political parties, the Republican Party, Democratic Party, Libertarian Party, Independent American Party of Clark County. So hopefully everybody will get you to go step in the ring with me. And I believe January 27th is the next Real MMA fight. And I'd love to have you in the ring, Richard, because you ain't coming out the same way you get in. Guarantee you that. With that said, this is Steve Sanson, Jim Jonas, and Pirate Mike Edwards with Veterans in Politics. Don't go away, folks. We're going to have Welty Silva, who's going to talk about the unethical behavior of family court judge Rena Hughes.
Hi, I'm Heidi Hanusa, and I'm a marriage and family therapist. My clients consist of families, children, couples, and individuals that are in need of some assistance dealing with trauma, depression, anxiety, and many other life issues that you can find on my website. I accept most insurances. For additional information, such as location, hours, insurances, and experience, go to my website at Faith Individual and Family Counseling.
Folks, we're back again. This is Steve Sanson, Jim Jonas, and Pirate Mike Edwards with Veterans in Politics. Before I introduce our guest today, I just wanted to make a couple things clear out there. That a lot of judges and attorneys are sealing cases just to seal cases. And the reason why they're doing that is to protect their own bad behavior. A lot of judges are sealing cases to protect them from being in front of the Judicial Discipline Commission and to protect them from any type of backlash from a re-election campaign. A lot of attorneys are doing the same thing to protect themselves from the state bar complaint and to protect them from maybe a future election campaign. So a lot of these people that are sealing cases just to seal cases, which is against the law actually, because the Supreme Court came out with two opinions on that and says you don't seal the seal, you seal to protect the litigants, not to protect yourself. And that's what they're doing. With that said, we have Welty Silva. Ma'am, how you doing today?
I'm all right.
First of all, I would like to thank you for being on the show because it takes a lot of gonads to do what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I just want to get the message out that this is happening.
And could you please give us a bio?
Of myself?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a small ballet school downtown. I don't make a lot of money at it. I do it for the love of dancing, for the love of the children. I babysit quite a few of the children in my community. It's kind of ironic. I can babysit other people's children, but I can't have legal custody of my own. There's never been a reason for that given.
Was Was there any domestic violence?
I had to call the police a few times when my ex lived in the house.
Okay. So there was domestic violence on the ex?
There was some domestic violence. I mean,
But not on you, per se.
Well, I'll say this. He threw things.
Okay.
I got out of the way in time.
Okay. Well, I just want to go down the line of things that would keep you away from having your child.
Oh yeah.
Was there any child?
There was no child abuse on my.
No child abuse. No child neglect.
No.
Any drugs and alcohol?
None.
So the only thing that I was hearing watching that video that took place in July, I believe, and 5 days after the video was aired on October 6th, October 11th, they sealed that case. How ironic is that?
Yeah,
you know. But anyways, the video was done in July when your daughter.
It was June 15th.
Was it June?
June 15th was when she was kidnapped through the courts.
Wow, that's
exactly
strong.
what happened. It was a kidnapping.
When your daughter repeatedly begged the judge, Rena Hughes, that she did not want to go with Dad.
Yeah.
And at no time did I hear on that video the judge asking your daughter, why don't you want to go with Dad? Because I think that would be
an appropriate question.
Appropriate question.
Yes, it would be.
Could you walk us through that day?
I will tell you. Well, I can walk you through that day, but I can also tell you real quick. There was 9 minutes missing from the video.
Wow.
Channel 13 discovered that. And my sister was livid. She called me. She said, "Well, you find out what happened in those 9 minutes that aren't on that video." Annie was in that room. And so I asked my daughter about it, and she told me that must be when she was giving her reasons. She said because she did tell Rena Hughes her reasons, very logical, rational reasons.
Oh, she did say.
For not wanting to go with him.
What were those reasons?
She told me that she said he is irrational. He yells at me for no reason. He drives recklessly with me in the car, which I know about 5 incidents.
Right.
I can't remember. Of course, there's more, but those are the main things. You know,
that wasn't even released on a.
No, that was. I don't know if there's a way that inside the court they stop and start that video, or if later it was edited out.
It was probably later.
I don't know how, but that 9 minutes is not there.
Well, that's illegal.
And that's when she was telling her reasons.
Because what happened is when they start the video, everything is on record. Mm-hmm. If they stop it without cause, and then that's illegal on the judge's part. And the only one that could make that determination would be that order actually would be the judge to say stop the video. She's the only one that could do that.
Yeah.
So you think she did it because she didn't want to? Why she didn't? Because she.
Well,
but apparently she was accusing you.
It means that there were reasons. There were reasons that my daughter didn't want to go. She's not. She's not been brainwashed or anything. She's not like.
Well, that was the reason saying that you're
this
alien.
This is all ridiculous.
They're saying that you're alienating your daughter from Dad.
Yeah.
Is that a true statement?
That is a very untrue statement.
Well, why would the judge say that?
I have actually said things to my daughter when she would say bad things about her father. I was like, Annie, just try to understand. He has a heart. He loves you. And she just got sick of hearing it. She was like, Mom, please, enough.
You know, when is there a certain age a minor child could say what parent they should be able to live with?
In Nevada, honestly, I don't think there is a law that says what age. There is no age. There is this unwritten law, I guess, that most of the judges will go somewhere between the ages of 12 and 14. Like lawyers have said somewhere between the ages of 12 and 14. Right. But there is no actual law.
My question is, why is a minor, especially that young, not allowed to have a parent or a lawyer or someone, a witness, an advocate that's in there with them
Certainly
to
she
defend
needs an
themselves,
advocate.
because you can get bullied, you can be. I saw it too, and it really made me mad. I mean, ridiculously mad. And that's just watching from an outside perspective. That's she was. I used to hate going to the principal's office when I was a kid, and I was there every day. But I still hate it. But I can't imagine sitting in a courtroom in front of a judge, having them question you and badger you and telling you, you're pretty much.
I mean, she was terrified.
Yeah.
She was terrified to go with him.
She
used to shake. And she used to shake when she would see a black truck drive down the street because she thought it was her father.
Is CPS involved? Is CPS involved or any
There have
counseling?
There's some counseling because, okay, in my honest opinion, my ex took her to counseling because he either thinks this or wants to believe this, that our daughter really does love him, but it's me that's put this in her head,
Right.
that she doesn't love him. It couldn't possibly be because of his own behavior, his own actions,
So he's
right?
in denial, right?
He is completely. And I don't know, anyway, there's that. So he has taken her to a counselor. And I believe his motive for taking her is for this counselor to say, well, look, you know, I think your mother put this stuff in your head. This is not really how you feel, and blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you, it's not going that way.
Right.
Because it's been like almost 6 months now. Annie still feels exactly like she did 6 months ago. She feels the same way about her father today.
Smart little girl.
You know, I've seen convicts get their kids and drug users.
Oh,
get their
absolutely.
kids.
Heroin addicts get more visitation than me. Jesus Christ, they still
She
have
denied the
legal
kid from
custody.
you. That's why I was like,
And that's the thing too, Steve. You know, people, when they find out that I have no legal custody, they go, Jesus, what are you, like a secret heroin addict or something?
Right.
No, I am totally clean.
you know something, when I watched that video, was Dad sitting in there while all this torture was going on with that?
Okay.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that.
Day?
I could not be, even if the judge was on my side, totally, I could not sit there and let anybody, my kid like that.
There is no way. There is no way.
There is no way I could do that. How come he didn't interject or tell his counselor, hey, you need to stop this? I don't want to see my daughter get battered like this, especially in my presence, and my daughter's over there on the other side of the table like, Daddy, aren't you going to stop this from happening?
Certainly. I mean, there was an opportunity for him. You know, even all the bad shit, and you said I could cuss, right?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
all the bad shit that he's done, even at that point, he had this opportunity to go, okay, wait a minute. Let me show this little girl who I really am. Baby, you don't have to go, you know, go with your mama today. Just promise me that you'll come to breakfast with me or something, anything. You know, and make that kind of effort and show her, I'm here to protect you.
So my question
No,
is,
he didn't
here's
do
one
that.
of the laws that was broken. She discussed certain things in that quorum ex parte. That means you were representing yourself, correct?
Right.
You were not there.
No.
Nobody was representing your side of the story.
Right. Essentially, my lawyer was escorted off the property
Exactly.
since I was my lawyer.
You were your lawyer. You were escorted out the building,
Yes,
right? You weren't
yes.
even just outside the door of the courtroom. You were outside
Off the
building.
Off the property.
In the parking lot somewhere, right? Okay. So she discussed a lot of things with Dad's attorney and Dad being present without you. So that's illegal all by itself.
Certainly.
In fact, that's unconstitutional. She can't do that. And she violated a lot of canon laws doing
It
that.
is so unconstitutional.
What are you going to do about that?
Well, I have filed a complaint to Judicial Discipline.
Okay.
I have sent letters, emails, phone calls, complaints to everyone from assemblymen, councilmen, all the way up to President Obama. I have gone to Attorney General. I am now going to talk to County Commission. And I am not going to stop. I am not going to stop talking until this woman is removed from my case first. I want her recused from my case. And then I will not stop after that. I want her removed completely. I want her
Have you had any
impeached.
responses from the assemblymen or any of the politicians?
I have. Assemblymen told me to go to the media because they have no real power.
What assemblyman
Go
told
to
you
the
that? I'm a name dropper.
Anderson.
Elliot Anderson.
Yes, Elliot Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you talked to any other media yet, like the?
I have been on Channel 8
Okay.
TV News and Channel 13 TV News. There's quite a bit of hoopla on Facebook.
Hoopla.
Hoopla.
Yes.
Hoopla
Jim,
on
do you have
Facebook.
anything?
No, actually, I don't.
Oh, Jim is silent today.
Well, no,
It's not like that.
I haven't investigated.
So here's another thing. That third part of the video, part 3, says that if you don't go with mom, judge is saying this on the bench. If you don't go with mom, I'm gonna
Or Dad. Do you mean?
Dad,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm gonna put you in Child Haven, and you're not gonna like Child Haven. It's exactly like a jail. Now, I called up the manager at Child
I've
Haven.
been to Child Haven.
She thought I was on crack or something. She goes, "What are you talking about? It's not a jail." I said, "Well, there's a judge, a family, not even a municipal court or a district court, or justice. A family court judge is telling a minor child on the bench, on the record, that Child Haven is like a jail. They have holding cells in there."
Yeah.
So I sent them the video as well.
Child
Good,
Haven's
thank you, I appreciate
Child
that.
Haven's pretty awesome. When I was a pirate at Treasure Island, we used to go out there and talk to the kids.
You're still a pirate.
And well, I'm always, yeah. When I used to get paid to do it, we would go out there and we'd talk to the kids, and a lot of these kids have been abandoned. You'd be amazed how many children are abandoned in Las Vegas. They find them in rooms, stuff like that. And but these kids come in, they have, there's 2 or 3 in a room, they have their own little space, and they come and sit in, they're the sweetest, and they take great care of these children. Sometimes parents never come back for them. But to say, even to threaten that, you're pretty much threatening them with jail, that's ridiculous. And that's slander against Child Haven, because Child Haven does a great job. They do a great part of the community that, we do, the motorcycle community, we do lots of fundraisers for them as well. And, if I was them, I'd be pretty upset.
Child Haven should file a slander suit.
Yeah, I think they should be upset about that too. I do.
Definitely not a jail. They give the kids the best situation they can be for what they have. They're not sent there as a punishment. They're sent there to save them.
And I believe that if it had been explained, someone else said, no, maybe it was you. Somebody said, if someone had explained to your daughter what Child Haven was and said, look, this is really not a bad place. You're just going to go and hang out for a little bit, and then they're probably going to have to call your mom to come pick you up.
Okay.
She would have totally gone there.
Mm-hmm. There's another thing. This is the part that made me realize that Judge Hughes don't have any children. It's when she said that you're a child and I'm a grown-up.
Oh, yeah.
The only people that use that in my 49 years of life is somebody without a child.
Yes.
So she has no
That is so
personal
true.
experience of her own kids.
Somebody that just doesn't care about
Yeah.
children's opinions or feelings or
like discredit them, push them to the side. You don't matter. Only I matter because I'm an adult and you're a kid. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. You haven't lived life. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. But it's like she lived with you, and she knows exactly how you are.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jim. What are you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, I'm going to look like the bad guy here, and I'm not.
You are the bad guy. Might slap him.
I'm not going to stick up for either side, but the judge in the case, if she doesn't have children or she does have children, that's irrelevant.
It is irrelevant.
Her job,
should be.
but you just said that.
No, I'm just saying that this is how I knew that she didn't have a child by what she said.
But
I'm not
that's
saying
irrelevant.
that.
Her job is to carry out the law.
Right.
Period.
I have no problem with that because Ken Pollock,
And
who doesn't have any children, who's the one that got beat by Rena Hughes, by the way, he was excellent on the bench.
He was excellent.
Excellent.
Yes,
and you would never hear him say something like that.
Yes, I had primary
That's the
custody through
difference.
Kenneth Pollock.
And the only reason why I bring that up, because I know everybody's looking at me irritated, but
No, not at all.
the reason why I bring that up is because when people listen to this archive, they're going to say, oh, it was a fluff piece, and
No, you're
obviously
absolutely
everybody
right.
was against the judge. So I just want to make sure that we have it clear, because you have a very good point, but if nobody looks at it from the judge's angle and the right perspective,
you bring up a good point.
then your message is not going to get out.
You're absolutely, you're bringing up a good point.
Court, but if you don't have any respect for children, or if you're going to treat them like that, I don't want to.
Maybe you shouldn't be
I
on the bench,
don't want a
right?
guy cutting my hair that's bald. I don't want to teach me how to drive that doesn't
Fair
own a
enough.
car.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in that position,
Yeah.
you should at least have,
Some knowledge
some knowledge. Just,
about children.
I don't have any
Yes,
children.
certainly.
Right.
I don't have any children, but I've got like 100 nieces and nephews, and when I go out and talk to kids, and I go out and read and talk to autistic children, second and third graders, and that's like herding cats, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it because I talk to them about our flag, about Veterans Day, stuff like that. But it's I love children. I love them to death.
Why interview a child if you're not going to respect the child's opinion?
Right.
Yeah, it was
And when you made a
that was pretty
statement like
pointless.
that when she made that statement, I automatically knew that this person doesn't have a kid. Not that I'm against anybody sitting on the bench that doesn't have children. Like I said, Ken Pollock doesn't have a children.
But he followed the laws.
Followed the
He
law.
followed the laws.
He would never talk like that to a child.
Well, and this is what you bring up a good point, because here's the thing too, that this is what I see with my case and with other moms' cases, and there have been a couple men that have come to me as well that have been wronged by her, that she bases her judgments on her own personal opinions.
Bias.
Her own opinions of things, her own personal biases. She doesn't actually base a judgment on the facts. I mean, I have here my trial memorandum, which she refused to look at.
Yeah.
There are facts. These are facts.
You know what
she wouldn't look at this.
You know what I'm noticing, Welty, is that family court judges have too much discretion.
Way too much.
They're bringing their own personal bias onto the bench. And it's like somebody asked me about, how do you feel about pro-choice? I said, what I deem necessarily for my family might not be the same for your family.
Certainly.
You know, I don't live your life. I don't know your circumstances. I don't know what you're going through. So why should I put my personal bias or my religious beliefs or my political beliefs on you?
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not constitutional.
Exactly. So I believe that this judge has brought a lot of her own personal bias onto that bench, and she's using way too much discretion. And I think that family court judges need to start reading briefs, need to start following the letter of the law, and then make a determination after
What's
that.
the oversight for that, though? I mean, do people sit in on the court? I mean, obviously,
I do.
The video got out, but I mean, like a case like that, obviously everyone was kicked out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nobody was sitting in there. Like, there was no oversight. There was no somebody.
No, Dad was in there with his attorney.
I understand that, but I'm saying that's still one side.
Oh, you're talking about the
Not like
public.
a citizen,
Yeah.
a public
like citizen,
yeah.
a public, somebody, you know, I know they have oversight, and so obviously once the video got out, then it was sealed. Or some of the ladies that are, you know, talking with me and talking with us as well have put a gag order, which I think is freaking hilarious. Hey, you know, I don't want you don't like my
protect the children. To protect the children.
It's not to protect
right.
the children. Anytime you put a gag order on something, it's just for the freaking judge and for the court.
What happened to freedom of information?
Well, I think
Freedom of speech.
I think Mike, one of the things that I would like to point out to all the listeners is, and you know, thank you, Steve Sanson, for bringing this up, bringing this to my attention 9 years ago. The reason why judges get by with this crap is because not enough people educate themselves and vote for judges. Every single damn election cycle, how many people actually know who these judges are, what they stand for, and vote for them?
That's true.
I'll give you a perfect example, and I'm just saying that this is probably most people, and actually I'm proud of my brothers and my mom for this, because when they go to vote, they go, I know nothing about these judges. Which judge should I vote for? Well, at least I'm educated enough to know, because of Veterans of Politics and how much emphasis Steve Sanson has put on this,
Oh, yeah.
that I can inform them, like, this is a good judge, this is a bad judge. This judge is a bad judge, and the reason why she is on the bench is because not enough people educate themselves and vote for judges, period. And that needs to change, and all you listeners and everybody out there need to understand that.
That does need to change, but also there's the fact that, you know, sometimes they lie.
Yeah.
To get votes, and then
Sometimes.
once they're
Sometimes, yeah.
only sometimes, and then once they're there, you find out, oh wait, that's
can do
not
whatever they
who
want.
that's not who they were. They misrepresented themselves, and now what do you do?
Well, you know what? Let's take a commercial break, Welty, and then we're going to bring somebody on that could help you with this judge decision here.
That would be awesome.
All right, would that work for you?
That would be awesome.
All right, this is Steve Sanson, Jim Jonas, and Pirate Mike Edwards with Veterans in Politics. Don't go away, folks. We're going to bring back Welty Silva. We'll be right back.
Right, sole legal and sole physical custody. You're to take Annie with you. That's too bad. This is based on motor's failure to facilitate visitation and to compel the child to visit with her father. When your mother was left in court, it told her if you didn't go with your dad on weekends, that you would spend the entire summer with him. And you decided and your mom decided that you weren't going to go. So now you are left to go. So your child support obligation will cease immediately. Ms. Silva will owe you $100 per month in child support. You are to enroll Annie in public school in your district where you live. There's to be no contact with Ms. Silva and the minor child. Counsel, we are having a trial on a permanent change of custody for October the 11th. Stack number 4. Calendar call is September 20th at 11 p.m. You will submit a memorandum of fees and costs, copying me with your billing statements for all the work that you've done since April of 2015 to the present. That will need to be done within the next 20 days. You'll serve the plaintiff. Within 10 days after the date of service, she has to file an objection to the memorandum of fees and costs because I find that you're entitled to your fees and costs from April 15, 2015 forward. We have been attempting to put you in your child's life because I found there's extreme mental alienation going on.
Please, no. I want to be with my mama. Please. I don't want to be with him.
I made my decision. I've already told you that.
I beg of you.
You don't need to beg. I've made a decision for your best interest.
How do you know my best interest? You don't
As
know
I told
me.
you, I'm a grown-up and you're a child.
Please, 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 please.
Do we know whether or not Okay, Frank, will they read you?
Please see my mom. Please.
And stop. I've already discussed this with you. It won't do any good. You're just upsetting yourself.
I miss her. I just want to see her, please. I don't want to
Upsetting
see
yourself.
I can't
You have
help
a
it.
father, and you're going to spend time with your
I don't want to.
That's too bad. You're going to do it anyway.
I don't want to.
That's too
I
bad.
don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to, please. I'm begging you. You can't do this. No. I don't want to go with you. Can I please stay with Martha? Please.
Your Honor, is this order going to be effective immediately? I'm sorry, I'll be sure PCR.
I just want to see my
Will
mom.
be effective immediately without a written order?
7.60.
Yes. Is this 7.60 effective?
7.50?
7.50?
Sorry.
7?
Yes.
Okay. And, Your Honor, may I approach?
Marshall is going to accompany you after she's left the premises to your vehicle. If you have any difficulties, Annie will go to Child Haven. Okay? It's not fun in Child Haven. In fact, they put you in a holding cell, just like it would be jail.
Can I please see my mom?
Let me saw her. She's
No, you don't understand. I love her. I'm gonna miss her so much. Please don't do this to me.
I'm done. You want to submit the order? Okay.
Sorry, Your Honor, and it's mom's objection to the fees and costs is within 10 days
Of service, yes. Yeah. Thank you.
I don't want to go.
Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sampson, Jim Jonas, and Pirate Mike Edwards with Veterans in Politics, and we're continuing the saga against Family Court Judge Rena Hughes, and we've been joined. Welty Silva brought her crew in. We have Jennifer on my left and Marisella Barry on my right. And let's go with Marisella Barry. Could you tell us a little bit about you?
Well, I have 2 kids, and
Boy and a girl?
boy and a girl.
Okay.
They have emancipated from the court.
Wow.
So our story starts back from 2013.
Okay.
But they just barely emancipated.
Okay.
Our case, we went through a divorce, and it's gone on for almost 4 years, back and forth. We've had 4 different
And
judges.
we're talking about 4 different judges. Okay.
Yeah. Rena Hughes being the last judge, very unjust, very unfair.
You even know that she has a middle name of G.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I know her very well. She doesn't follow the laws of the land.
Uh-huh.
She, in my opinion, violated my kids' rights.
And give us examples
My
of
rights.
that violation.
Well, my ex was ordered to pay child support by 3 previous judges. The district attorney's office stepped in and started garnishing his wages because he refused to follow orders.
Right.
And Rena Hughes gets on the bench and tells him he could be released because he filed an objection and he could be released. It's over $10,000. I have an audit.
Release, what exactly does that mean?
Relieved from the child support arrearages,
Wow.
which the district attorney's office did an audit, and it's over $10,000.
Wow.
Um,
But let me stop you right there, Marisella.
Sure.
You know, and I just want to make this clear that, when we brought up about Welthy's case, folks were saying, well, why don't you help dads out? Why is it moms? And that's not the case with this. It has nothing to do with gender of the litigants. It has everything to do with what's right and what's wrong.
It's about
If
justice.
a judge is doing a father wrong, we're going to go after him. If a judge is doing a mother wrong, we're going to go after him. It has nothing to do with the gender of the
Right.
litigant. But unfortunately, I'm seeing all you mothers appear against Judge Rena Hughes. That's telling me that maybe she's playing the father train all the time. It seems that way. I'm just saying.
It does appear that way in a lot of cases. There are a lot of other cases that are currently active,
Right.
where moms are just getting the shaft from her for
Wow.
no legal reason. She has nothing to back anything up.
Taking children with no legal rights to do so.
Right.
Marcella, when you walked into court, though, you were representing yourself.
And hold on a second, Marcella. And Jennifer, hi.
Hi, sorry.
Did Jennifer talk out of turn?
I did. I'm so sorry. I didn't have it.
Did she raise her hand, Jim?
sorry.
I didn't see her hand get raised or nothing.
You want to slap it?
Jennifer, tell us about you.
She wanted to bring a good point.
I was one of the first victims of Judge Hughes. I actually moved to California to get my son back
How's that? What do you mean you moved to California to get your son back?
because I knew as long as I was in front of that judge, I was not going to see my son.
So you moved out of the state so you could see your son?
She sent my son, who was 22 months old, to live with his father in California.
22 months old?
22 months old. And under Pollock, I always had primary physical custody.
Judge Pollock, the previous judge.
There were 3 CPS cases opened against me in that 22 months, opened by my son's father. Every single case was unsubstantiated.
Should I back away from you or what?
Well, with CPS, you can call and say, the next door neighbor heard my child crying, and they'll go and open an investigation.
Gotcha.
So that is what my ex and his dear mother did.
So nothing was substantiated.
Everything was declared unsubstantiated. There was no issue.
Can't you file charges against somebody that makes a false CPS claim?
You know,
Isn't
I'm
there
not
something
sure
in the rule
about
book
that.
about
At
that?
that time, I had a toddler at home. I had a mother who was dying of cancer. I was taking care of both of them and the sole breadwinner. I wasn't really in a position to be going after people.
I'm so against what's that word called when you move a child out of state?
Relocate?
Is that the legal term? I don't think that's the legal term. There's a legal term for it. I'm so against that. So
Moving jurisdiction?
no, that's not the legal term either. Reunification, relocate. No. Anyway, so Judge Hughes took your son and relocated your son to California?
To live with his father
live with his
and
dad.
gave me 4 hours of supervised visitation 1 day a week at his father's house.
At the father's house?
And it was to be supervised by either my son's father or his mother, who he lives with.
So the one that you divorced has to supervise you?
Yes.
Based upon
Now,
the false claims.
and one of the reasons that I'm here is because through Welthy and through the media attention, Welthy came to me in June.
Right.
Through a friend of a friend, I got a text from her. I'm a victim of Judge Hughes, and I picked up the phone.
Right.
And because of the media attention that this has gotten,
Right.
there have been so many people that have come forward. I have seen so many videos. I've seen a grandmother go in front of Judge Hughes, a grandmother who has done nothing wrong and has not seen her grandson for 2 years, go in front of Judge Hughes, and Judge Hughes says, I'm sorry, I have a zero contact with the mother's side of the family. The mother's side of the family did nothing wrong. That's not right. The best interest of the child is close, continuous contact with both parents.
Right.
And this judge, over and over again, is taking children and issuing zero contact when there is no abuse, there is no history of anything at all. And one of the things that happened in my case, the woman who was my ex's attorney was partners with Judge Hughes in a 4-person law firm.
Did she disclose that?
I mean, I have the proof of it here. They're besties. They're all
No,
over
did she
Facebook.
disclose that to you?
It was never disclosed. It was discovered after the fact. We actually filed a motion for a retrial.
Did you file a judicial discipline complaint based on that?
Yes.
Okay.
We filed for a retrial and to have her recuse herself because it was not disclosed.
Right.
Everything's taken down now, but I was fast enough to print the proof.
Right.
There are photos of her and my ex's attorney with their arms around each other at fundraisers. There are photos of her and my ex's attorney with their boyfriends on their motorcycles on the weekend. This is a conflict of interest.
It is. Huge.
It was never disclosed. Every attorney who has looked at my case, I filed an appeal, this, that, the other thing. Every attorney who's looked at my case said, you had this, what happened? And his father was convicted of domestic violence. His father tested dirty for drugs. Judge Pollack ordered that he come to Nevada and see his son supervised visits every weekend.
Right.
And in a complete about face, Hughes in her final order decides that his dad did not commit domestic violence, although he was convicted.
Oh, wow.
And that I had, in fact, committed domestic violence when there's no charges against me. Her order was completely, it was just completely one-sided.
It sounds like this judge needs to see a therapist or something.
Well, it sounds like she shouldn't have been
No,
elected.
she needs a lobotomy, is what she needs.
Marcella, let's continue back to where we were. Where were we?
Well, she released my ex-husband's obligation of child support. During that time, because a lot of people question if I was working. Yes, I was working full-time. However, he's a professional. He's in the civil engineer industry.
Right.
Thank you. He makes very good money. He could easily afford it. Meanwhile, before my kids emancipated the court, my kids and I had to get on the SNAP program. And
What is that?
the SNAP program, it's through the state of Nevada, the welfare department, for food stamps.
So he was on it or you were on it?
No,
Yeah, you're on it.
both my kids and myself,
Okay.
because I was barely making enough to pay rent, to pay
Right.
utilities, and just wasn't making it. And so in the meantime, my kids and I are having to go to food pantries, be on the SNAP program in order to survive. He's got a well-paying job and making 4 times as much as I do, and she released him of this obligation.
Those arrears.
And this is what happened.
Well, what did the district attorney say about that?
Well, we had the hearing master did a review on my case from the very beginning.
Who was the hearing master?
The hearing master is Teton. I can't remember her first name. Last name is Teton. She was great.
Tootin.
Yes, that's it.
That's family court judge Robert Tootin's wife.
Yes. Thank
See, I'm intertwined in this.
Yeah, okay, I'm really bad at pronouncing names too. So she did a review on the case, and she told me because there were so many orders involved that she wanted to take at least a month to review every order, which is what Judge Rena Hughes should have done and never did. So she
Maybe the
did
G
that.
stands for God. You ever?
I thought about that.
Maybe she thinks she's got. You know, it's amazing.
She does when she's on that bench.
It's amazing that this judge. The election was 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means she took the bench in 15.
Yes,
Right? January 15.
Yep.
And here we are in December of 16. She's only been on the bench, what, a year and a half? Good?
I've thought of the same thing that you're thinking.
What the hell is going on with? I mean, judges usually have the God complex, probably in their second term. Yeah, they don't usually get it in half of their first term.
Yeah, well, I think she had it before she took the bench, and she overruled 3 other judges' orders in my case.
Wow.
She overturned them, just like that. No reason. And, you know, in the meantime, I think about, well, shoot, I believe some of our federal tax dollars go towards the welfare department of our state.
Right.
And here, the state of, the people of Nevada are kind of help supporting my children and I to get food on the table. Well, my ex is a civil engineer making great money, refused to pay.
So let me just make sure I get this correct with you. So your situation is that Judge Hughes denied your ex-husband from paying any arrearages in support.
That
child
is
support.
correct. And the reason why she did it, she's claiming, well, it wasn't in the final divorce decree. However, it wasn't in the final
But
divorce
if the district
decree.
attorney's collecting from it, apparently they saw legal standings, right?
They did. Well, they had 3 orders to do so, and they had started garnishing his wages
Okay.
again, and she put a stop to it, just like that.
And Jennifer, in your situation, Dad was convicted of domestic violence. Dad had a positive drug test, but you were punished because now Dad have custody of your son in California, another state that forced you to now relocate over there. What are you gonna do about that?
I'm getting my son back.
Did you file an appeal with the Supreme Court?
We did file an appeal. It went to the appellate court.
Okay.
The appellate court, from what I've read and seen in some of the research I've had the time to do, seems to be doing the same thing. They came back and agreed with all of our talking points.
With
They
yours?
agreed, yes.
Okay.
But at the very end, they said that this court does not believe that had all of these things not occurred, that the outcome would have been any different.
That don't make sense.
That doesn't make sense to me either.
It was so funny because I got the paperwork, I'm like, yeah, and I'm sitting in my office and everybody came into my office so I could read it.
What do you do?
What do? I work in real estate. I'm an analyst.
Okay. Marisella, what have you done to rectify this situation?
Well, they gave me the opportunity to appeal it.
Right. Did you take that opportunity?
It costs a lot of money to appeal. You have to file.
And see, judges know that.
They do know that. You have to get an appealant attorney, very, very expensive, and you have to go to the higher court.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, I don't have the money.
But
to
you know, there's a lot of programs out there. You could do things pro bono. There's a
I've
lot of
tried
pro
pro
bono
bono,
attorneys out
yeah.
there.
Yeah, but I haven't
You
been
do
able
get
to
what you
find
pay for.
one.
I haven't been able to find an
I have a pro bono attorney for you, Welthy Silva.
That's why I called him an angel.
She's been wanting you to contact her for some time, and I was going through another source so they could get to you,
Okay.
but they told me they got it covered, so I didn't.
Nobody's got it covered.
Okay, well, we need to talk then.
I don't have an.
I have an
You have an
attorney.
attorney.
I have, in fact, I had one person call me from Maryland. One person called me from Maryland and said, I will hire an attorney for her.
Oh my God.
And I got another attorney that says, I want to do her appeal. So I'll give you her number.
Okay.
I want to mention something else in Welty's case. You know, we have a CASA program, court-appointed special advocates for children in the court. And Judge Rena Hughes, Yeah,
Do you know
she
what-
never
I-
involved them.
Well, I contacted
Annie should
them.
have been appointed a special advocate.
Yeah,
But
she should
I
have.
contacted, is it Barker? I don't know. The judge that's in charge of the.
Oh, David Barker?
Yes, I
Okay,
contacted him.
the chief judge.
Their
Is
response.
he chief judge now?
I think so.
Yeah, he still is. I don't know if they moved it in
So,
January.
their response was that the CASA program is only for foster children.
That's false.
So because Annie's not a foster
Who
child.
told you that?
That was his response. That was the judge's response.
That's not
Did they
correct.
put
I
that in
used to
writing?
be
Yes, I have a
a
letter.
representative.
Yeah,
No, that's
I don't have it
false.
with me, but I have a letter, and then
YouTube, here we come.
yeah, right.
So-
and that was their response. That I'm sorry, Annie couldn't have an advocate because.
No, she can't have an advocate.
She's
That-
not
that's a
involved
bunch
in
of
there.
I
What
was
did
a
you call it?
volunteer.
What did you call
Isn't
it?
it against the law for her not to have an
Baloney?
advocate?
CASA?
no. Well,
Hoopla.
hoopla. That's a lot of hoopla. So, Wealthy. In your case, you have this judge, the same judge that all three you have. In your case, the judge lied to a minor child on the stand.
Yes.
Conducted ex parte hearing without you being present, and you were representing yourself in proper person. Discuss adult issues in front of the child. I think that you could really slam her. She'll never get elected
What was
or
her
reelected.
Well, I plan to destroy
What
her.
was her reason to
I plan to
have you
destroy
removed from
her.
the courthouse?
There's no reason.
She just, but she told you you had to
tell you.
leave? I mean,
Well, yes, it went like this. Okay, so I got a letter in the mail that said, bring your daughter to court. Annie has to be in court at this time, this date. If you fail to bring the minor child, you will be incarcerated for 25 days. I called the court and said,
I would have took the
Okay.
incarceration.
and believe me, it was my thought. I said, okay, I have no problem going to jail for my child. I have no problem going to jail for anybody's child. But I knew if I do that, now she's definitely going to be handed over to her father that she doesn't want to go, right? So I said, okay, maybe she will be listened to. I said, baby, we just got to go. Just tell the truth. That's all you can do, honey. Just go in there and tell the truth. That's all. And she's like, Mama, they're not going to make me go, right? They can't make me go. I said, Annie, I don't know. All you can do is go tell the truth.
Who has your little girl right now?
He does.
Okay.
I just want to make this really
Sure.
quick. So after that letter, so we went to the court. We walk in, all of us, my ex, his team of attorneys, me by myself, my daughter. She says, state your name for the record. I state my name. Then she orders everybody to leave. Only Annie is left there. So we're all out in that hallway, and I'd say 3-4 minutes passed. It was not very long, 3 or 4 minutes at tops. The bailiff comes out and says, I am to escort the mother off the property.
Wow.
And that was it. And I said, well, what's going on? When am I getting her back? What's happening? Is she going to lunch? Is she going for life? I mean, I don't know what the hell's going to happen here.
She was representing herself.
She's representing herself. She's not supposed to escort her off the
Right.
property. You can't even, and you know something, if you're leaving Dad in a room with his attorney, then she has to be in that room too.
Exactly.
Let's get some last comments. Jennifer, do you have any last comments? Marisella Barry, last comments?
We just need to get her off the bench. She's not following the law. She's making her own law.
And let me tell you how to do it, okay? You form a group called Mothers Against Judge Rena Hughes. Put a Facebook site on there. You get everybody involved.
We have a Facebook site. It's called Impeach Family Court Judge Rena Hughes.
That's good too.
Facebook.
And you just do not stop, because she's up in 2020. And my recommendation is to file, yeah, it is a while, but between now and then is to file with the Judicial Discipline Commission, and you could even file with the Attorney General's office too.
I
Okay?
have done that.
And appeal your case.
so there's no oversight, like, somebody couldn't step in and go, look, there's been a lot of flack, I've seen a lot of complaints, let somebody go review these cases.
The Nevada Judicial,
That's what
Nevada,
they should do
yeah.
ASAP. I mean,
Yeah.
even if
Yeah,
she was
judicial
right and all that,
discipline
it needs
should
to be
do
looked
that.
at. They need to
Yeah.
shine a light on it. Gag orders and taking stuff down and videos and all that, you're hiding something.
They review complaints once a year.
No, 4 times.
Is it 4 times a year?
And you got to let anybody else know if they step into her courtroom and
Yes.
to voice their whatever is going on, any illegal or corrupt or unethical activity that's going on.
The problem, Steve, is people are afraid because they have active cases.
Or they get a gag order on them,
The
like that one young
retaliation,
lady
there's the
sitting there.
retaliation.
Folks, we have another mother against Judge Rena Hughes that's sitting in the audience, but she can't come in there because she has a gag order on her. I wonder what's that about. But
Steve, I can't even tell you. I've lost count how many people, because I came out with my story, I've lost count now how many people have come to
you know what?
me
You
that I
should
have
you
to
should
judge
take
in
their
this
name
situation.
and get all their contact information
Yeah, that we're
and just
processing.
put them on this big list and handle it that way. And I'll veterans in politics go after corruption. Period.
Yeah.
So if that's what we have to do,
And we're
that's
for
what we have to do.
justice, so we're going to get her off that bench
Yes.
sooner than later.
Yes.
We're very confident. We're not
Yes.
giving up.
Yes.
So
Well, thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate
thank
it.
you for having
good
us
luck.
so much.
Yeah, and I want to thank everybody too. I mean, that this is probably the most difficult thing, and this has come from, I'm a man, I don't have kids, but I know that one of the things that my mom always spoke to me about is like how hard it is to ever be separated from your kids. And for you guys to have the courage to come on and even speak about it in this forum is very impressive. So thank you all very much for coming on. We really, truly appreciate it.
With that said, we're going to go, folks. This is Steve Sanson, Jim Jonas, and Pirate Mike Edwards, and we want to thank Jennifer, Marisella Barry, and Welthy